Hello, we're back for some more Project Motor Racing, and there was a big update a couple of days ago. It's 1501 was the patch number. It's had a number of fixes, including some AI tweaks, some handling tweaks for some of the cars, multiplayer fix, I believe, and a few other bits and bobs, so we're going to dive in. We're on PS5, I'm on Dualsense controller, and we're going to give it a go and try out a couple of bits and bobs. Try out the AI for sure, see if the multiplayer is working for a couple of races, and try some of the cars that was really awkward to drive, like the hypercars. They were very tricky on the controller. See if they're any more drivable than they were. Hey Evo Wolf, how's it going? Let me just check. This is the game audio is working. Yeah, it appears to be. Okay, that's good. So I was wondering for a sec whether it was going to work for the audio, because of PlayStation audio is just playing up a sec, but we've got it sorted. So I'll just switch over and let me have a look. So we're on controller. I'll probably kick off the single player first and have a little check of the AI and see how we're getting on. So if we're going to a race weekend with the Mazda, which is the one I'm using, let's pick a different one. Let's go with that. Lime Rock Park, 15 opponents. I'll take the practice session off, because I'll just do qualifying. Yeah, I'll just do a qualifying and then a race, 5-lap race, just to see how it is. See if it's any better. So let's jump into the race. I'm going to try cockpit view as well tonight with the cars. Because before the update, the AI had just punt you off the track if you went in front of them. So we'll see how we go. Let's pop the old controller on the screen as well. Right, so straight into the quali session.
Clear of pit lane.
Cold tyres. Hey Couch, how's it going? Yeah, tyres do feel very cold. Yeah, I'm all good. Good start. Good start. That was a good start. Yeah, gonna have to be a bit more gentle with the old tyres. They are surprisingly cold. So once you get into a bit of a tank slapper with this car, you tend to lose it. Gonna have to be really gentle through this chicane. Do you see how much it goes under braking if it changes down too quick? So I've got the AI on 100, so it's on the hardest level. Oh, nice one. Yeah, I might try a bit of the casual multiplayer as well.
Start of your timed lap. Make it count.
Tyres aren't quite up to temperature, but yeah, but we're getting there. I can definitely feel more grip. Except when I go on the grass, that doesn't help. Still getting used to the limits of the car in cockpit mode. Still got a couple of laps.
Clear.
Well, I got a clout off that car. Try and sit back from it for a minute. Yeah, if you change down too fast, it really sends the back end out. See if we can actually get a decent flying lap. Tyres are looking a bit better. I've done it again, straight on the grass. Group B rally cars, nice. Saint-Pierre, that's quite impressive. It's getting used to where that grass is.
Clear.
So I can see the outside edge of the car. Just got to be really careful with it. Those Group B rally cars were absolute monsters. It's quite a tricky chicane that when it's tyres cold.
Left.
On the grass again. Need to set some sort of quality time. Need to get it a little bit closer to that curve on the inside. There we go. Hey, 1-4, how's it going? Well, I'm going to check see how the AI goes in a second. Got another couple of quality laps. Surprised that wasn't a track limit penalty. Properly cut that. A little bit of slide. I mean, it's playable. I did a video on the settings I'm using.
Got a ping with fastest car on track.
That's a bit better. Fastest car. At least with the steering wheel on the screen, I can see how far I'm turning the steering. little bit quicker than the last lap. Still first, under a minute.
One minute left.
Got past him. This has got to be quicker. Oh no, it isn't. Wow. It's actually a slower lap.
4/10 off.
Now before the AI was updated, that car behind would have probably just punted me off. Instead of avoiding me. I mean, the feedback on the controller isn't as good as Gran Turismo. Lost a bit of time there.
Checking flag this lap. Wrap it up.
That was quicker. .59.6 is our quickest time. Oh, the Audi Quattro Sport Evo S1. Excellent. Excellent, Sansphere. Yeah, it's definitely playable on controller. On this car, anyway. I don't know about some of the faster cars. We're going to check those out. Ah, fair enough, on foot. I mean, the update, I quite enjoy the challenge of it, to be honest, so far. With the Mazdas, I'll have to see what the other cars are like. So let's go on this.
You've done it! That's pole, mate! Amazing job!
So we got pole position on controller against the AI on the top difficulty, so that's not too bad. That's okay. Just see how the race goes. So it does a little bit of a grid update. So let's see what the AI is like in the race. Got to be careful with the really cold tyres. Gonna go with second gear for the first lap while the tyres are cold. Yeah, I need to try that one car. That car. Well, it's only a 5-lap race and we're a bit of ahead already. Caught the grass again, saved it. Didn't quite save that though. Not the best through there. Just a little bit of a slide around that corner. Just got to try and not go too wide on those bends. That's better. Cut that corner a bit, but it's quite generous with the limits on that one. Leaving the AI for dust at this.
Timing screen has you at the top.
Yeah, I'm reading chat. Just takes a bit more concentration, this, than Gran Turismo does. I mean, it's not really a casual game. I mean, it's a proper sim.
Final lap, white flag is out. Bring it home.
So you got to sort of drive it properly. It's a lot trickier than something like Gran Turismo. Got to be a lot more measured with the inputs. At the moment, I'd say, you know, I'm enjoying it, but it still needs a bit of work. Start penalty. Never got away with that. I would imagine it's similar to ACC. I've not really played ACC that much. I didn't like ACC on a controller though. This feels better on the controller, in this car anyway. I'll see what the GT3s are like. Well, that was relatively easy. Surprisingly so, in fact. I mean,
Incredible job.
there's a lot of
today.
potential in the
Big
game.
effort. Big thanks to the crew for their
I
hard
would
work.
say. Yeah, there's a lot of potential in it. It needs a bit of polish, that's for sure. I know where's more, do you think? No, I'm still going to be playing GT7 New Era. I'm looking forward to the update for Spec 3. I'll be giving that a go next week when that comes out, for sure. But I'll also be covering some of this. Because, you know, it's nice to have a bit of a change occasionally. So what was the time difference? So we had a 59.3 as our best lap. So our best lap was over a second. Well, it's a second and a half quicker than the second place car. And that was on the hardest AI. Oh, I can imagine this is pretty good with the wheel. Because with the controller, it's... I didn't really get stuck in with the AI, but in the qualifying, they didn't take me out. Which is a good sign. Let me just try... Actually, if we go back into... Let me just try one of the other cars. because I know some of the other cars are a bit iffy. LDMH, right? I know the LDMH were really awful to drive before, so let's see what one of these is like. So I got 15 or 20. Let's go with 20. Let's try, oh, I don't know. Spa maybe? Spa. Let's try Spa. I'll just do the practice on this, just to see what it's like. Turn the pre-warm on. Practice on. I'll just try the practice and see how it drives. Because before, I couldn't get anything out of this. I couldn't even drive this car in a straight line before the update. So let's see how it is. Yeah, it was horrendous. It was just kept pulling to the left or the right. Couldn't do anything with it. So let's see what this the hypercars are like. It came out on Friday, the patch. It's just not really had a chance to have a proper look at it yet. So let's just see how it drives in this view for a sec.
Clear.
I wouldn't normally drive in this view. Okay, that feels better. Because before, trying to drive down here, and the car would literally just be going off to the side. I mean, never mind, track limit's not great. But yeah, it would just be randomly pulling to one side or the other. And I can drive it. I'm not touching the controller and it's going in a straight line. Oh, lock the brakes up. Don't want to lock the brakes up, that's for sure. That's the thing that takes a bit of getting used to, is the braking. And where the locking point is. I think there could be a bit more info through the controller of where the brakes are locking. Oops. Alright, let's go right to the pit. Let's try it from the cockpit view. I mean, it's like driving through a letterbox, isn't it?
All clear.
I've not really driven any of these hypercars in other games before, so going straight into a sim is probably not the best idea. Oh, those tyres lock up quite easy. Oh. I mean, apart from my terrible driving in this car and locking the brakes up a lot, it definitely drives better than it did the other day. This is mostly user error. It is tricky. Well, I don't really have much to compare to with this car. I mean, they're powerful cars. Downforce isn't quite what I was expecting. So you can't just slam, because is there any ABS on this? Let me have a check, because I've got it on authentic. So ABS is turned off and I've got TCS on 6. That's the default settings for this car. It's very easy to lock the tyres because there's no ABS, so yeah, I need to properly be gentle on the tyres. But, like I say, it's just not me being able to drive these cars very well. Let's let this car go past.
5 minutes remaining in the session.
There must be a knack to doing that flat in these cars. Like I say, I've never really driven these type of cars before, so I don't really know what the yeah, that corner, that's tricky. Let's try a GT3 car. Yeah, they are pretty tricky to drive, but they actually do drive like you expect. Because when I was driving it the other day, you couldn't even go straight in it. It'd just be pulling all over the place. Let's try the Lambo. Same thing, Spa. Let's give it a go. See how this drives. Apparently GT3s have had a tweak, and some of the engine noises have had a tweak as well. I mean, I thought that LDMH car sounds alright. Let's see what the Lambo's like. I see it remembers the view that you drove it each one in.
Clear of the pits.
Well, this feels easier to drive already than the hypercar, but then I suppose you'd expect that. Does it now? This feels a lot more drivable. This is probably easier to drive than those Mazdas. He says before nearly going into the gravel. I mean, the audio sounds a bit muted on these. I would have expected them to sound a bit heavier. Okay, you need to brake earlier than that. Well, in Gran Turismo, they feel a lot more planted than the GT3s in Gran Turismo 7. So I need to be at a lower gear for that. The gearing feels different to Gran Turismo. So I can pretty much take that flat. Now the tyres are up to temperature. Because obviously the GT3 cars have CCS. No worries, Andy. It's going to take a little while to get used to the limits of these. Yeah, these are much more forgiving. I think the time's going to be awful though. Nice bit of grip on them though.
Session ends in 5 minutes.
Oops. Yeah, I'm well off the pace on this. So unlike the Mazdas, relatively oval track. Yeah, that's tricky. No track limit penalties for doing that though. But yeah, these actually drive alright. Which new tracks? Do you mean the ones in the Spec 3 update for Gran Turismo? I would guess that's next week. Oops. Caught the gravel. Interesting. Yeah, they're easy to drive as well. Ah, okay, Luca. Yeah, in Gran Turismo, this isn't Gran Turismo, this is Project Motor Racing. But yeah, Gran Turismo Spec Up 3 update will probably be next week, I reckon. It's already been teased. So yeah, Thursday, I guess? Yeah, yeah, this is a different game. But yeah, it's Yas Marina and Gilles Villeneuve circuit that are both out next week. Alright, let's try a multiplayer race, see if we can do a casual one. Do a social. See what cars we've got. Might try the Mazda while I'm used to it. And they both come out together. It's Yas Marina, the Dubai track, and the Canada track, which is your Villeneuve. Yeah, they're both in the Spec 3 update, in the free one. I've done a video for Soda. I can show you the settings, but I did a video on what all the controller settings do. So this isn't a good start. It's not getting into the race. Let's try social again. See if it'll let me in. But it's not being happy. It's maybe the multiplayer's not working at the moment. Let's go connect the multiplayer again in a sec. They're my settings. That's what I've got set up on controller. But like I say, I did a video on what they all do as far as the controller settings go. Right, let's try multiplayer again. See if it'll connect me. So I'm guessing the servers must be being iffy again. If it's not letting me connect. Which is a shame. I was hoping to get some multiplayer races in. Let me just have a quick look on the Discord and see if anyone's mentioned it. Yeah, it's not letting us in that. There's the ranked ones coming up. Yeah, that looks a bit messed up as well, doesn't it? Yeah, that's all messed up. Let's restart the game. Same issue on PC. Ah, okay. So yeah, maybe the servers are... Which is a shame. I might have a try that Porsche, actually. Right, let's just give it one more go for the social. Yeah, that's not working, is it? That is a shame. Yeah, I'm not getting anywhere with that. What's in the challenges? Hey, Legendary God, how's it going? So these are various challenges. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. 40 laps. 40 laps, Nordschleifer. These are all very long races. So that's the endurance hall. Okay. We'll be doing that. Factory driver. What's in this one? See if I can find a circuit I actually know. It's going to take ages to scroll through these, isn't it? So we've got Sebring, I don't know. Some quick times. Saline S7R at the Derby one. Corvette at Daytona. Yeah, there's some sort of UI stuff they could improve. I mean, let's try the MX-5 at Lime Rock Park. I know that one. 54. Wow, that's some time, isn't it? Target 58. That's going to be tricky. Let's see if we can get anywhere with this. I don't think I've managed a 58 yet. Although it might be the version without the chicane. Let's see which version it is. God, this feels so weird after the GT3. Okay, no chicane, so it is possible to go quite quick here. Oh, way wide. Let's try that again.
You're clear.
Just have to be really gentle around here. Not push it too much till the tyres warm up. And we've got to beat a 58. Car goes so light over that corner. Right, tyres are starting to come into it. Let's see what we can get on this. Wrong gear. Well, that didn't work. Went too wide. Let's try and get these tyres clean again. I reckon the lift and a chuck in, you'd probably do alright. Hey Nick, how's it going? Right, let's see how quick we can get this one going. Ah, track limits. That didn't work. So you can't quite carry that much speed over there.
You're clear.
Hey, what's the works? How's it going? Basically just sliding the car around that corner. I need to be a bit later on the power on that corner. Turn in a bit earlier on that one. Right, let's try and get a flying lap. Second gear. It's not second gear. I mean, I'm finding it okay. The multiplayer's been a bit iffy on and off. I've not had that proper go at that yet. I mean, there's a lot of potential there, is what I'd say. There's still a lot of work to be done, but there's definitely potential there. I reckon another 6 months or so could turn into quite a good game. Actually got the right gear that time. A little bit of slide there, it's going to slow me down. Alright, yeah, Chunky, how's it going? See what sort of time I can get before my tyres cook.
You're overdriving and the tyres are overheating. Bring them back into the window.
Should be a decent time. 56.7. I don't know how that sits on the leaderboard, but it's alright. Give the tyres a rest. I've got to check what the times were like. Wasn't it like ridiculous times, like 54s or something? Alright, let's give it a go again. That didn't work. I probably could, but I wouldn't have a clue what I'm doing. So if I end session and just see where we ended up. So 54.1 is the top time. And I'm a couple of seconds away. But they probably got setups.
You're clear.
I need to try some of the other cars. I need to try that Porsche, because I know there's some multiplayer events in that Porsche. Hey Ace, how's it going? Good start. Let me try one of the other cars. So can I look at the leaderboards? Oh, I'd have to scroll all the way through that again. So that's something that could be done with the UI. Instead of fetching stats, like taking ages to fetch stats every time. Because that's going to be very slow. Doing that all the time. Right, let's try... see if... give the multiplayer another shot. I'm guessing the devs won't be able a chance to look at it yet. Yeah, it's just... servers are just goosed, I think. Might have to try that again next week. Let's try that Porsche. Oops. Wrong button. Yeah, setups and stuff. I need to learn all that kind of stuff. I know there are some setups available to download, but it's kind of weird. This game's always been on a controller. R33. Right, race weekend. Let's see what that Porsche is like. I've not tried a Group 4 yet, actually. Let's try a GT4 car and see how that drives. Nissan GTR. I can compare that to what's the name? How does it feel after the update? The AI seems a bit better. Some of the cars that weren't very drivable seem more drivable, just because like the LDMH cars you can drive a bit now. GT3 cars feel fine. They're easier to drive than they are in Gran Turismo. They still need to do more feedback through the controller.
Clear of the pits.
See how this drives. Cold tyres. I'm not going to make it through there flat on cold tyres. Yes, that's slow down quicker than that. You probably can't, due to the limitations of the console. Because on PC, you've generally got a better CPU, and if you're running like 15 other instances of the AI, then the PlayStation isn't going to handle anything more than that. That's why it's limited, because of the AI that they're running. You can't really compare that though. Just because one game can do one thing, it doesn't mean another game can do it. Because they all use the budget of processing in a different way. Yeah. Yeah, the physics engine in Gran Turismo is nowhere near as complicated. This does stop actually quite quick. And the AI did a pretty decent job of avoiding me there. Whereas before the update, they would have just absolutely launched me off the track. Yeah. I know they've changed the default setups on some of the cars. And this is the first time I've driven a GT4 car in this. Yeah, it doesn't like that corner. Guess you need to... it sounds weird in 6th. Must admit, 6th gear sounds a bit weird. It does feel like you can chuck the cars around a bit though. I don't know if you're meant to do that, but it's really knackering my tyres. Yeah, turning in and changing down the gears completely goes. Well, the cars on Gran Turismo, it definitely pushes the console because you get frame rate issues.
Session ends in 5 minutes.
Because they can't, even with the current car rate in multiplayer, you can't do trial mounting without slowdown. You get really bad frame rate going through the tunnel. So it's already pushing the limit of the PlayStation. Well, the way they're coded, their code is pushing the limit. Yeah, exactly that. And every AI car is running in this is running the same physics as the player. Normally they cheat and they simplify the physics for AI cars. Because really, they're only there for you to race against, you know, to beat. They're just moving obstacles. That's like the Sophie AI. That only works on PS5. So PS4 can't run it. That feels actually trickier than the GT4s. GT3s rather. Right, let's try a different one. Try a different car. Hey Silverback. Let's try this Porsche. Yeah, let's pick a different car colour. Go with that. I know they run one at... It's Derby, isn't it? It's not Derby, what's it called? Yeah, they run them here on one of the races. Let's try this. The AI seems better after the patch. Some of the handling of some of the cars is better, from what I can tell. Multiplayer is still a bit iffy. Still issues with the multiplayer. Right, let's see what this drives like. I think this sounds quite nice, this car.
Clear of the pits.
Oops. Yeah, you know, people... Well, it depends what people want, but yeah, it needs optimizing for sure, but... And that's it. I think people overestimate what the PlayStation can do. And this isn't, you know, it's not the best optimized. So you can definitely do more. You know, it's a new engine for them. I know it's built on the Giants, like the Giants engine, but they've customized it quite a lot. It's a new physics engine, which is going to need optimizing in itself. Very easy to lock up the brakes on this car. Yeah, they may do one day. Oh, nearly. I mean, I quite like this car. He says I'm completely missing the braking point. Oops. Yeah, I like that there's mod support as well. That's pretty good. I mean, some cars sound better than others. This car's actually quite good fun to drive. Oh, lock the brakes. Yeah, I'm not doing gas and brake on a joystick. I mean, the Dualsense has got haptic triggers, and why would you lose that? I mean, they don't do an awful lot with it in this game, but like Gran Turismo. Yeah, you gotta be brake way earlier. Well, the GT3s I found quite easy to drive. So I feel the back end sliding on that, which is nice. Ah, touch the grass. Hypercars feel more drivable than they did before, because before I was saying I couldn't even get them to go in a straight line, and now I can. I'm just not very good at driving hypercars.
Five minutes remaining in the session.
Got to be really careful with the brakes and stuff. Yeah, I remember, I know Gamer Muscle mentioned that some of the cars have felt really nice. Done it again. The back end goes, it's you miss it. And I think that's what they're missing on the controller. Because on GT7 you get tons of detail through the controller about what the tyres are doing and what the car's doing, and you just don't get the same on this. I know the force feedback's meant to be terrible, but it's great on a controller. Need to brake earlier for that corner. The graphics aren't as good as GT7. I mean, the rear view mirror is very pixelated. But it's not, again, the graphics are massively optimized for PlayStation. That was better. Yeah, VR support won't happen on the PlayStation for this. Yeah, the performance of this on VR on a PC will be awful. So they're not going to do VR on the PlayStation. It's actually quite good fun to drive that car. I mean, I am quite enjoying the driving element of this for most of the cars, and that's a good thing. You know, there's a lot of things that need polish in the game. The multiplayer doesn't work very well at the moment, but the driving feel is nice. They need more stuff through the controller, but the way it kind of moves is all right. You know, there's a lot to like, but it's not. They've released it too early, basically. I think. I didn't try Red Sport, no. But from what I've seen, this a lot of elements of this is better. Like the driving's better in this. But yeah, I mean it's been alright. I'll give the multiplayer one more time. But if we don't get anywhere, I'll probably call it a night on this and try it again. Ooh. Was that ranked I've gone into? It was, isn't it? Custom lobby I want. Social. Ooh. They've done something. Norwich Life 24/7. Is that the only race? In the casual? In social? That's a bit weird. Hello. There should be more than that. Yeah, they've messed it up. So I think they've restricted the multiplayer for now to get it working. So this is MX5 Sprint at Sebring, which I don't really know, and it's a 15-lap race, so I haven't got time for that anyway now. That's a shame. I was hoping to do a bit of multiplayer, but like I say, we'll probably be if they release another update or fix the multiplayer before Tuesday, I'll probably jump back on it on then. Gran Turismo will be later next week because the new update. I'll be testing out Spec 3 for sure. See how that is. So yeah, I'll probably do this on Tuesday if the multiplayer is working, because I want to get some multiplayer races in, just the casual stuff, just to get used to it. Because they usually have lots of smaller races in the social. Yeah, I think that's a good thing. That they just released an update. Mind you, they did that with WRC before they canned it. They just released an update for WRC and then stopped making it altogether. But I think the F1 game is too popular, so I think EA will stick with it. But yeah, I'll probably wrap it up there, I think, because tried a few of the cars out. The AI is better, it drives better on some of the cars, the handling's nicer. Multiplayer doesn't work still, from what I can see. That's still got issues. Audio sounds alright on some of the things. Cockpit view is surprisingly drivable on the controller. I mean, I'm quite surprised how nicely it drives. They just need to update the... Like, you don't get anything through the controller when you hit a wall, for example. There's no feedback through the controller at all when you hit a wall, which is weird. You should get some vibration. The triggers, they need to make you more use of the triggers. Definitely more use, because the brake, you should be able to feel the ABS and stuff like that through the brakes and feel it locking up, getting vibration and stuff like that, but you don't. You get all that rumble comes through the pad, not the triggers. So they could definitely do more with the triggers. The only haptic trigger stuff you get is you get a bit of heaviness on the accelerator, and you can feel when the car goes light a bit. You can feel that. So yeah, there's more they could do. I mean, the car roster, I don't have a problem with. I think they've got a decent number of cars and a decent number of... Compared to the likes of Rennsport, definitely, you've got way more cars in this. And different car classes. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of things they're doing right. But there's a lot of stuff... It's mainly, I think it's just been released too early. I think there's a lot of optimization needs doing still. A lot of polish it needs still, but the core driving's not bad. You know, it's quite good fun. I'm enjoying driving the cars, and you can't say more than that, really, I guess. So yeah, but yeah, I'll wrap it up there for now. I'll be back on Tuesday with a bit of luck. I guess on this, if try some multiplayer again, see how we get on, and then later in the week it'll be Gran Turismo for a bit to try the Spec 3 and see what the updates are like on that. But yeah, thanks everyone for popping along. It's been interesting to try this again. It is silverback, it is indeed, but you know, that's money. It's just, you know, at some point you just have to ship it and earn some money back, because they don't, you know, it costs a lot of money to make a game, and they don't have bottomless pockets, unfortunately. So that's the reality of the games industry, as it is. It's just the way it is. I mean, they're over it to a degree. You could say the studios are over ambitious in what they're trying to do in the time they're given. They're just not estimating it very well. So they don't get they have to release it not quite finished. I would imagine that's more the case. Is the scope is bigger than they can do it. Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, they all are. It's like every game. You know, it's only the only one, you know, you get the odd exception to the rule, like Arc Raiders, for instance. You know, they nearly released that as a PvE game, and then they sat back and changed it and made sure it was right. And, you know, there's things in that they could fix, but it's that's a rarity. I think it's a game being so polished on launch like that. But yeah, Rennsport, which wasn't brilliant from all accounts. This needs a lot more polish to it. It's, again, finished, released a bit too early. And this hasn't even been in early access. It feels like an early access, but it's a release. Yeah, but games were a lot simpler as well. A AAA game back then cost a fraction of what it does now. You know, it's like more than a movie budget these days. You know, it's, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars to make a game, a AAA game now. So yeah, you know, it's more than a movie. And at some point you need to recoup some of that. So it's just the reality of it. Games are expensive to make. Yeah, it's ridiculous how complex they are. You know, it's and all the parts that go into it, and you know, the studio behind this are massive. I think they've got about 50 employees. And that's going to be across all departments, not just coding and development and stuff. Yeah, it's, you know, all development has the challenges. It's and stuff happens. You know, stuff goes wrong. Stuff doesn't work as you're meant to. You can get, you know, no games developer is going to go into it with the idea of making a bad game. That doesn't happen. You know, they always try and make the best game they can, given the circumstances they're in. and you know, for whatever reasons, they don't come out right. It's just software development and games, I guess. But anyway, I could waffle on about that kind of thing for hours, so but I won't, because that'll just bore you all silly. So I'm gonna leave it there. I will catch you again, like I said, on Tuesday. Hopefully, catch you then. Until then, bye for now.